Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another episode of Voices for a New Humanity. I am Eliza Bloom Robinson, and my work right now is really on New Humanity Now. One of the things that I came aware of as I start to talk about it is people are like, wait, what's that? And wait, what's that? Is that what I think? Is that what I do? So I've created this platform to have these conversations to really explore how my guests are experiencing new humanity. So a lot of my guests are in sort of what I call my consciousness buddies group, my quantum buddies group, and somewhere outside of that. But today I'm super, super excited to bring one of my buddies. My guest today is Gina-Dianne Harding. She is amazingly brilliant. She's a metaphysical and spiritual author. She's a transcendent alchemist. She's an adventurer. She has a passion for exploring the limitless realm of consciousness. She's a writer of compelling transformational fantasies. She has a book coming out at the end of the year, the beginning of next year. I can't wait to read it. She's a higher consciousness activator. She's an adventurer. She's a sorcerer, and she's a promoter of the Supercension of New Humanity. Gina-Dianne's also a spiritual peacemaker with a Master's of Divinity, and she specializes in so many different things, but in working with highly energetically aware people who are part of the new. So you are the perfect person to be joining me today in our conversation of New Humanity Now. Welcome, 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 Gina-Dianne.
Thank you. Very glad to be here. Nice to see you, Eliza.
Yes, yeah, we've been connected just I don't know, a handful of months, 6 months maybe, or something like that. And I'm like, oh, there's a resonance, part of that.
Yes.
Both being ordained and both being, authors and both being, there's some crossover points there, but really happy to have you here. Part of what I'm feeling is that New Humanity Now is really the manifestation. That's not the right word, because there's a new word in New Humanity Now, but we were talking before of like everything we thought that was happening in 2012, this whole birth of a new humanity, this whole birth 2012, this whole huge quantum shift is now happening. And what New Humanity Now is a whole new dimension of beingness, of consciousness, that is love and connection and compassion and kindness and collaboration and innovation and creativity. And so there's this whole way of being in the world. That's my experience of New Humanity, and it's my work is like to open the door and to invite people in. But I just want to start before I talk the whole time. Just asking you, what is your experience of this new humanity? Because you use that term as well.
Yeah, I love that. Actually, I've started using it a lot more since I've been following you closely on the New Humanity. I look at it from the perspective of it being a golden age of consciousness. I think that so many more people are awakening and realizing that there's more to life than just eating and sleeping and going to work and, basically doing the same thing every day. So I see everything kind of opening up and revolving around this higher consciousness. It's coming in so many different ways, but I'm just trying to think of some kind of practical. Just seeing people now that are being kinder, that are reaching out and making sure that their neighbors are okay. There's still, even though there's some unrest going on, I tend to focus on the more uplifting things that are going on in the world. And I'm seeing so many people that are all of a sudden, because of isolation, they're becoming aware of the the fact that maybe they aren't living their lives they wanted to, and so they're reaching out, looking to see what more is there to life. I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's like in this global stop, there's been a wobble. That's one of my favorite
Mhm.
now, and it comes with the body movement. The wobble in a
Mhm.
rat race, in that do go go be, just that. And so I see it too, but I love that you speak to it, that people are starting to awaken, even if they don't know what that means. There's a softening.
Sorry.
There's a spirit calling.
Yeah. It always seems to happen at a good time.
Right, right. And
Mhm.
so what?
Mhm.
So for you, and in your work, and in the people that you're working with, um, how do you feel like we're going to maintain that awakening, as opposed to, there's this draw, our countries, our world is starting to open up again, it's starting to get a little
Mhm.
busier. It's like, how do you feel like we can stay awake, we can stay in the new and not go back to the old?
Well, I think it's really hard, having experienced this, to go back to the old. Um, People have had the opportunity, if they've chosen to pause and reflect, and by seeing that there could be more, I think it's going to be such a contrast if they try and resume some of the things that they used to do, that really were just taking up their time and not fulfilling them. And so between that and all of the light workers, the people that have been working to try and bring in higher consciousness, bringing in a new way of looking at life, a life where people are thriving and feeling fulfilled. Um, I think it seems to me that even us as a group are coming together more. There's so many ways of bringing in new energy and activating the world around us, and I think that people have had a taste of that. Maybe, like you said, they may not be conscious of it, but having a taste of blue sky, even, or seeing the dolphins coming back to the canals in Italy, and the animals wandering in the streets, and that, and no planes. Oh, the blissfulness of silence. It's I think once you've had a taste of that, and it's possible. Before, a lot of people were hopeless. There was nothing we could do for the environment. There was nothing for economics and all of that. And we've seen the governments have come up with money to help people that are in crisis, and businesses and things like that. And they're just pulling it from maybe military. I'm not sure where they're getting it from, but
I think in our country they're making up play money, but we won't
mm.
go down that hole.
Yeah, whatever. It's people are getting a taste of that and the possibilities, and I think that that's going to sustain us through. The other thing that I see too is another wave of COVID that's probably going to give us an opportunity to revisit and be in isolation again. Maybe not as long this time, but I think that'll reinforce what we've learned now.
Yeah, I think there's something to that as people go back, whether it resurges and we get shut down on purpose or not, but I think we probably will too. But as people kind of go back into their lives, they'll go, wait a minute, this, like they don't even realize, lots of us do, but some people don't even realize how much space has been created in their being,
Mm-hmm.
consciousness. And so when you get back to, busy, go, it'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to do this. We don't have to do this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
one of the things that I wanted to explore with you a little bit, because we do play in the same circles some, is when we come together energetically, when we line up, when we zing. That's my most favorite, well, besides most favorite word right now. In fact, I'm creating this little mini online course about how to zing, the secret to zing.
Oh, great.
It makes me smile. And
Mm-hmm.
but when we come together, that's what I want you to speak to. When we come together and we do that collectively, there's a magic that happens. So I want you to put some words on that, because I want to
Okay.
hear yours.
Well, I think, mm, no, so I'm just sort of hearing Mary Magdalene here. Sorry, she's
Welcome, Mary. Come on in.
she's the main character in the book I'm writing, but she and I both agree that connection is probably one of the most powerful things that can bring us together as a new humanity. And that's connection to ourselves and loving ourselves and loving the creator and loving our neighbors and nature and everything has energy. So I think that the connection is what, as you said, creates the magic. When we come together, there's a sense of sacredness, not in a religious way, but in a hushed, full of awe moment, and just feeling into each other's energy, knowing there's a divine spark in everyone. Even if it might be hard to see with people I play with, it's never is, but knowing that everybody's brilliant, and that they're looking for that brilliance, listening for that brilliance, and just feeling the energy. One of the favorite things that I love to do is when I'm in a circle of friends is to just align and feel into the energy, and even sort of transmit it. You can hold hands and feel the energy of the person next to you, and give it to the person on the other side, and you can really create some big spirals, big vortexes.
Vortexes, for sure. Portals.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
And
Yes.
oh, I'm just getting tingles thinking about it. So
Well,
yeah.
and so let's just take a moment there, because we are as you're talking, we are lining up, even though we are, in different countries. Gina-Dianne's in Canada, I'm in the United States, but it's like, just in that speaking of it, the energy is, my hands are tingling, my body's tingling. It's like my whole being gets lifted up.
And my heart's
Yeah.
pounding, racing. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then together we like lift up and zing, like, well, another one of my favorite words. I'm saying all my favorite words today because you're the word queen. Into miraculous outcomes, into miraculous, it doesn't even matter what, but miraculous outcomes for our listeners here, miraculous outcomes for our technology, miraculous outcomes the unrest, but power of going back to the connection, your words and Mary Magdalene's words, there's such power in that. And I think our biggest challenge in humanity now, or up until now, has been that we live in separation. So when we land in that connected place, it's like,
yeah, that creates a lot of harmony. Harmony is one of my other watchwords that you were mentioning a number of them. Collaboration and love and generosity, but harmony, connection brings us into harmony. It helps us to also see the possibilities, I think, and there are so many possibilities. Right now, some people are having a hard time seeing those, and when you connect, when you get into this alignment, and even with just one other person or your higher self, although it's a lot easier when you're in group, then you can shift the mass consciousness and affect that. That's one of the things that I think you do. I know, having been an active participant in the group that you're in with the Visionary Network, it's and I'm aware that we're running out of time, but I just want to say that we're where was I going to go with that? Uplifting and sharing the energy. That's one thing that we do, is we bring ourselves together, bring the energy in, and then we do share it and gift it out to the whole of humanity. And that is even more powerful when we're coming from that perspective, rather than looking at manifesting what it is that we want in our lives. We get what untold riches in every area when we give this energy out. And it's not like we're expecting that, or that's why we do it or anything, but it sure happens.
It sure happens. And it becomes so magical, doesn't it? Because as we gift freely, and then it circles back. We're open to receive without attachment, without any attachment. As soon as you put attachment in there, it's like, I'm going to go give this so I can get that. It backfires. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But part of that, it comes from that higher place so automatically, so naturally. It's not ever a thought other than like, gift out.
Yeah.
So you're right, we do need to wrap up, but any last, so many more places we can go. So we'll continue some of these conversations.
I'd love to do that. Yeah.
But,
and love is another place that I would enjoy going to, because I've been exploring new ways of getting into the heart and the mind connection, and through love. So yeah. I could even take your listeners on a little guided visualization to get to their inner heart and beyond.
You know what, Gina-Dianne, let's take this and then start a new one with that journey.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so that completes this conversation. I am so grateful to Gina-Dianne. We've got all of her links in the description, so you can find her, you can follow her, and stay tuned, because very soon we'll be releasing this journey that Gina-Dianne is on.
That would be fun.
I'm Eliza Bloom Robinson, Gina-Dianne Harding.
Thank you.
Voices of a New Humanity. See you again.